Picture this, Amsterdam, November 8th, 2024. The city, known for its picturesque canals and vibrant culture, is buzzing with an energy that is almost palpable. The air is crisp. The leaves are a tapestry of autumn hues, and the streets are alive with anticipation. The Johan Cruyff Arena, a cauldron of anticipation. This iconic stadium, named after the legendary Dutch footballer, is more than just a venue. It is a symbol of passion, history, and the beautiful game. Tonight it stands as a fortress, ready to host a battle that transcends the sport itself. Two teams, two sets of fans, two narratives on a collision course. The atmosphere is electric, with fans from both sides pouring into the stadium, their faces painted with the colours of their beloved teams, the chants, the songs, the banners, all echoing the deep-seated emotions that football ignites. On the pitch, Maccabi Tel Aviv, pride of Israel, facing off against Ajax Amsterdam, Dutch giants. The players, each a hero in their own right, are warming up, their minds focused on the game ahead. The tension is palpable as they prepare to represent not just their clubs, but their nations and their people. But this was more than just a football match. This was a convergence of histories, a meeting of cultures, and a clash of ideologies. The fans, with their intense expressions and fervent discussions, know that tonight's game is about more than just the scoreline. This was a tinderbox of geopolitical tensions waiting for a spark. Outside the stadium, the streets are a battleground of their own, with protesters clashing with police and arguments breaking out among those with differing views. The air is thick with the potential for conflict as fireworks and smoke bombs add to the chaos. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a wound that refuses to heal, cast a long shadow over the fixture. This age-old struggle, marked by decades of violence and heartache, is ever present, influencing the emotions and actions of those involved in tonight's match. Ajax, known for its vocal, left-leaning fan base, boasts a significant contingent of pro-Palestinian supporters. These fans, with their banners and flags, are not just here for the football. They are here to make a statement, to voice their support for a cause that transcends the sport. Maccabi, on the other hand, carries the weight of Israeli nationalism on its shoulders. Their fans, draped in the blue and white of their national colours, are here to support their team and their country, to stand firm in the face of opposition. The stage was set for a clash of ideologies, a powder keg of passion and prejudice. The stands are a microcosm of the larger conflict, with fans from opposing sides shouting at each other, engaging in heated debates, and being separated by security personnel. The tension is almost unbearable as everyone waits to see what will happen next. This wasn't just about 22 players chasing a ball. This was about pride, about identity, about the deep-seated emotions that sport can evoke. Every pass, every tackle, every goal attempt is charged with meaning, with the hopes and dreams of millions riding on the outcome. This was about history, identity, and the ever-blurry lines between sport and politics. The historical footage, the political banners, the intense reactions of the fans all serve as a reminder that football is never just a game. It is a reflection of the world we live in, with all its complexities and contradictions. This was about the potential for things to go very, very wrong. The police forming lines to control the crowds, the fans clashing with riot police, the emergency services responding to incidents in the stands, all highlight the precarious nature of tonight's match. The world is watching, holding its breath, hoping for the best but fearing the worst. The air crackled with a nervous energy. It was as if the entire city was holding its breath, waiting for something monumental to happen. The tension was palpable, almost tangible, as if you could reach out and touch it. The streets of Amsterdam, usually a tapestry of bicycles and canals, were awash in a sea of blue and white, the colours of both Maccabi Tel Aviv and the Israeli flag. Fans had travelled from far and wide, their faces painted, their voices loud and their spirits high. The city, known for its calm and laid-back atmosphere, had transformed into a vibrant, pulsating hub of excitement and anticipation. Chants of Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live, echoed through the narrow streets. The sound was deafening, a powerful reminder of the unity and passion that sports can evoke. It was more than just a game, it was a celebration of identity, a declaration of existence.
Across town, a different kind of blue and white dominated the landscape, the colors of Ajax. The local fans were equally passionate, their loyalty to their team evident in every cheer, every chant, every wave of their flags. The city was a patchwork of allegiances, each group fiercely proud of their team, but interspersed within were Palestinian flags, a defiant display of solidarity. It was a reminder that sports, while a unifying force, can also be a stage for political expression. The flags were a silent yet powerful statement, adding another layer of complexity to the already charged atmosphere. The atmosphere was tense, electric. Every face in the crowd reflected a mix of emotions: excitement, anxiety, hope, and fear. It was a cauldron of feelings, each one bubbling just beneath the surface, ready to spill over at any moment. Anticipation for the match mingled with a palpable undercurrent of anxiety. The stakes were high and everyone knew it. This was more than just a game. It was a moment that could define a season, a rivalry, a legacy. The fans, the players, the city, all were caught in the grip of this intense, almost unbearable anticipation.
Dutch authorities, acutely aware of the potential for trouble, deployed a massive security presence. The police were everywhere, their presence a constant reminder of the fine line between passion and chaos. They were prepared for anything, their eyes scanning the crowds, their ears tuned to the slightest hint of trouble. Riot police, their faces grim, patrolled the streets, a stark reminder of what was at stake. They moved with a purpose, their formations tight, their expressions serious. They were the guardians of order, the thin blue line standing between celebration and chaos. The city held its breath, bracing for the storm. It was the calm before the storm, a moment of stillness before the eruption. Everyone knew that once the whistle blew, the tension would break, and the storm would begin. But for now, the city waited, caught in the grip of anticipation, every second stretching into an eternity.
The opening whistle blew, and the stadium erupted. The roar of the crowd was deafening, a primal scream of pent-up emotion. On the pitch, the game was a tense affair, both teams battling for supremacy. But it was in the stands where the real drama unfolded. Then it happened. A group of Ajax fans, their faces obscured by scarves, stormed towards a section of the stadium where Maccabi supporters were gathered. Their target, a large Israeli flag proudly displayed by the visiting fans. The flag was ripped down, trampled underfoot. A collective gasp went through the stadium. In that moment, the fragile peace shattered. The match, the score, the players, all of it faded into insignificance. The powder keg had been ignited. From stands to streets, chaos engulfed Amsterdam. The city, known for its serene canals and vibrant tulips, was unrecognizable amidst the turmoil. What started as a seemingly ordinary day quickly descended into anarchy. What began as a skirmish in the stands quickly escalated into a full-blown riot. The tension was palpable as rival fans clashed, their anger and frustration boiling over. The stadium, once a place of joy and celebration, became a battleground.
Objects flew through the air, bottles, flares, even seats ripped from their concrete moorings. The scene was chaotic, with debris littering the ground and the sound of shattering glass echoing through the stadium. Fans, driven by a mix of adrenaline and rage, showed no signs of stopping. The air filled with the acrid smell of smoke and tear gas as police struggled to contain the violence. The authorities, equipped with riot gear, faced an uphill battle as they tried to restore order. The thick smoke made it difficult to see, adding to the confusion and fear.
Outside the stadium, the chaos spilled onto the streets. The violence was no longer confined to the stands. It had spread like wildfire. The streets of Amsterdam, usually bustling with tourists and locals, were now scenes of pandemonium. Running battles erupted between rival fans, the air punctuated by the sickening thud of batons on flesh. The clashes were intense, with neither side willing to back down. The police, outnumbered and overwhelmed, did their best to break up the fights, but the sheer scale of the violence made it a daunting task. Shop windows were smashed, cars overturned, and fires burned in the streets. The destruction was widespread, with businesses and vehicles bearing the brunt of the rioters' fury. The flames cast an eerie glow, illuminating the devastation and chaos.
Amsterdam, the city of canals and tulips, had become a battleground. The picturesque streets, usually filled with the sounds of laughter and music, were now filled with cries of pain and anger. The transformation was stark and heartbreaking. Witnesses described scenes of sheer terror. People ran in all directions, desperate to find safety. The panic was palpable, with many caught off guard by the sudden eruption of violence. The fear in their eyes was unmistakable. Families caught in the crossfire, desperate to escape the mayhem. Parents clutched their children tightly, shielding them from the chaos. The sight of young ones, their faces etched with fear, was a poignant reminder of the human cost of such violence. Paramedics, their faces grim, tending to the injured. The medical teams worked tirelessly, providing care to those hurt in the clashes. Their efforts were heroic, but the sheer number of casualties made their job incredibly challenging.
The beautiful game had turned ugly, its spirit of camaraderie and sportsmanship trampled underfoot. What should have been a celebration of athleticism and unity had devolved into a nightmare. The events in Amsterdam served as a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control when passions run high. Trapped in the maelstrom, a desperate flight for safety ensued. Inside the stadium, panic set in. Trapped between the violence and the locked exits, thousands of fans feared for their lives.
Families huddled together, parents shielding their children from the chaos. The air was thick with fear and the stench of tear gas. Emergency evacuation efforts were hampered by the sheer scale of the violence.
Police, overwhelmed and outnumbered, struggled to restore order. Helicopters circled overhead, their searchlights cutting through the smoke-filled night sky. For those trapped inside, it felt like an eternity.
Finally, after what seemed like an age, the stadium gates were opened. A surge of humanity poured out, desperate to escape the carnage. The streets outside, however, offered little respite.
The dust settles, and it's time to assess the damage and the discourse. As dawn broke over Amsterdam, a city surveyed the wreckage. Broken glass, charred debris, and the lingering smell of tear gas served as stark reminders of the previous night's violence.
The beautiful game lay in tatters, its reputation stained by hatred and violence. The immediate aftermath saw a flurry of condemnations from politicians and football officials. UEFA launched an immediate investigation, promising swift and decisive action against those responsible.
But the damage was done. The question on everyone's lips, how could this happen? How could a game meant to unite and entertain descend into such ugliness?
The answers, as always, were complex and multifaceted.